So Cardano ADA has surged more than 27% to the upside, and I do think that this is partly due to the recent trade deal that has taken place between the US and the UK, where over here in the UK we see that as a good thing, and reason being is because what the trade deal does is it enhances market access to our steel industry and our automotive industry. And of course, we are paying 10% in tariffs as opposed to the EU, which we are no longer in, that are paying 20%. So what the trade deal does is it sends a message out to the rest of the world. And that message is, look, if you're willing to negotiate, chances are you are going to see a good deal. And yeah, I personally think that China are now shaking in their boots. But of course, you're not here to listen to me talk about politics, and instead you want an update on the price action of Cardano ADA. And as you can see, we ended up actually tapping into our fifth wave target, which sits between 76 cents to 80 cents. And in addition to that, we actually tapped into our upper target. And this upper target is our Y wave target, which is this one here, which is a 1 to 1.236 retracement of this W wave here. And I've talked previously about how we could have this WXY structure to the upside where the Y wave could tap into this region here. Or alternatively, what we could see is the W wave actually topping off at around 66 cents, followed by another move to the downside to complete the X wave, and then a final Y wave move, where the Y wave would then tap into this region here. And that's what ended up playing out. And as you guys know, I have been tracking two scenarios where one of which is bullish, which is this scenario here, and one of which is bearish, which is this scenario here. And we were looking for ADA to potentially tap into this region between 53 cents to 61 cents. And this region is our wave X target, which is a 50 to 88.2% retracement of this W wave here. And within this X wave, we were looking for a WXY structure to complete that X wave, and we were tracking the wave Y, and we were looking for the wave Y to reach anywhere between 59 to 61 cents. However, we ended up seeing a reversal to the upside. And so because of that, this WXY structure is now invalid. And so what we can do is discount the bearish scenario from playing out. So if I remove this, since we no longer need it, and I'll remove this, this, and this, and also this. And yeah, in my previous video, I was looking for this WXY setup, and I was looking for ADA to reach this region between 69 to 73 cents. However, we ended up extending beyond this target, and instead we ended up reaching the upper targets. And so it's likely now that the WXY structure is now invalid, and instead what ended up playing out was a 5-wave move, where you had a wave 1, which is made up of 5 waves, followed by a wave 2, made up of a WXY structure, and then a wave 3, which is also made up of 5 waves, followed by a wave 4, and a final 5th wave move to the upside like so. Now, in my previous video, I also talked about for us to be bullish, then we needed to keep an eye on two key levels, and one of which was this level here at around 73 cents, and the other level was this level here at 74.6 cents. And if ADA broke this level, then that would then result in a change of character on smart money concept, which would then confirm that we are on a bullish trend. And essentially that's what ended up playing out, and we were looking for ADA to then break this level here. And as a result of that, I did mention that if we were to break that level, then chances are we're going to tap into this region here, which we ended up doing. Now, the interesting thing about this move to the upside is we could have two structures that are in play, where one of which is this 5-wave move to the upside that I've been tracking for the last couple of weeks. So if I adjust this and move this to over here, so this 5-wave move to the upside is still valid despite the wave 4 being deep. And reason being is because the wave 4 never actually extended beyond our wave 1 or the wave 2 origin. And the other scenario could be that rather than having a 5-wave move to the upside, instead we have a WXY structure, where this is our W wave followed by a X wave and then a Y wave like so. And this W wave would then be made up of 5 waves, where this is our wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by this WXY structure to complete the X wave, and then a 5-wave move to the upside to complete the Y wave. And this pattern is also known as a zigzag. Now, if this structure is in play, then there is a possibility that we could continue to see moves to the upside, given that the Y wave is typically a 1 to 1.236 retracement of the W wave. And so if I draw that in, let me just remove this just so it's more neater. And bring that to you over here. And yeah, you can see that the 100% retracement level sits at 80.62 cents, and the 1.236 retracement level sits at 85.06 cents. And so there is still a little bit more room to the upside. But of course, because we have tapped into this region, it's possible that we are now complete. We've now completed the move to the upside within a wave Y, and we could see that retracement to the downside, where we could see a 50 to 88.2% retracement of the W wave. So essentially what could be forming right now is a bigger WXY structure, where this is our W wave followed by a next wave and a Y wave like so. And it's possible that we can then retest that $1 mark. Now, as far as the indicators go, you can see that we are bullish. So you can see here we ended up seeing the 50 EMA cross the 200 EMA, which is also known as a golden cross. And right now, Smart Money Concept is indicating that we have a strong low, whereas previously what was shown was a weak low. And on our stochastic RSI, we are within the oversold conditions, and so the bulls still have the momentum to drive the price of ADA up towards the upper target. Now, the 4-hour chart is interesting because it still indicates that we have a strong low and a weak high. However, we are overbought on the stochastic RSI, and so we could see that retracement to the downside. But on the daily chart, it's showing us that we are not yet within the overbought conditions. And so, yeah, again, the bulls still have the momentum to continue to drive the price of ADA up towards that 85-cent mark. And so, yeah, that's just my quick update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found this useful. And if you did, then feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.